Hey guys, how's it going? I am WWE Hall of Famer Lita, welcoming you to General Admission Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Rookie of the Year. We have just, I gotta do my math here, I believe we have just 3 more weeks of competition to go. And we have an incredible show for you tonight, including a main event match that could be a main event in any promotion on earth. It's Takahashi versus Adonis Carter. And that caps off what is going to be an incredible night here in the former home of the WCW Power Plant. And we begin with Team Andrews versus Team Andrews.
I got a bottle of Patron and some lights off. 2 red devil looking eyeballs. And I'm finna turn up when the night falls. If you hear a siren,
that's
then
right, it's time for some Andrews on Andrews violence. And I'm not talking about Kurt versus Devin. Leon Redgrave versus Raymond Church. 2 men who are going to be looking for wins. The standings are becoming more and more important by the day here, as just 3 more weeks of competition remain after this. So each man has 4 matches left. I should have been clearer about that earlier. But you've got Leon Redgrave sitting with a 4-2 record, 12 points as it stands right now. That puts him in 4th place. Raymond Church, part of an extremely clogged up middle of the standings. 4 men with a 3-3 record, 9 points. And that includes Franky Omega Jr., who of course inherited the Little Dragons record. Dorian Wayne Bush and Ryan Skinner, the #1 overall pick, also in that group. I expect to see some separation among those guys as we get further on tonight. Ryan Skinner will take on the increasingly desperate Marlon Wright. We'll see Dorian Bush take on Dash Foley, trying to get back on the right side of the win column. And Franky Omega Jr. will battle Chris Alexa. And then, as I said, we'll mention it many more times here tonight, the main event coming up, Takahashi versus Adonis Carter. You couldn't ask for a better main event here tonight. Let's see how this first match shakes out. As I said, both men are going to be desperate for a win, specifically Raymond Church. As we know, it's only the top 7 that get through automatically to the knockout stages. The next 3 will go into a 3-way dance to determine the 8th seed. So a loss here would put Raymond Church potentially in danger of that. Whereas Leon Redgrave can certainly work his way into qualifying automatically. Takahashi at this point, given certain factors, could potentially lock up his qualification here. Raymond Church with a beautiful springboard moonsault. So that'll be coming in the main event. Adonis Carter looking to bounce back after a shocking upset at the hands of Dorian Bush last week, and Dash Foley looking to continue his hot momentum as well. Both Marlon Wright and Dr. Plague will look to climb out of the basement. Each of them only has 1 win. The bottom 2 in the standings will be eliminated. Church, another springboard moonsault. Church pushing the pace early against Leon Redgrave, a man that we know is a dirty boxer. Church looking for a diving double foot stomp. Redgrave's got him up. Look at this. Redgrave over the top. What did he even do? Did he just knee him right in the face? My God. Leon Redgrave. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before. But we've seen this many times, most notably, of course, the $1 Million Dream. I should say the money clip that Kazuchika Okada has used it many times throughout his career. Redgrave couldn't get Raymond Church to tap there. So Church having to shake off A straight knee right to the forehead. So interesting to see here what Church is going to do about Redgrave. Redgrave. He's been sort of flying under the radar in many ways as Leon Redgrave. He's loved by a lot of people, or his game is anyway. We saw Satin Cedric talk to him and say, I think we can make a lot of money together. So a lot of people do feel like that. But I think a lot of people are talking about Takahashi, a lot of people are talking about Adonis Carter. Well, Stormsong has been a big surprise. Obviously, Franky Omega Jr. Dorian Bush has been sort of the Cinderella. He's pulled off the two biggest upsets in the tournament so far. So Redgrave has just sort of flown under the radar. But that might be a mistake given his striking ability. Perfectly anticipated that kick from Church. And a beautiful suplex to follow it up. There are very few men better at anticipating opposing strikes than Leon Redgrave. And he turned that one into a beautiful suplex cover. He got two. Church trying to make his way to his feet, but Redgrave, I expect we'll be seeing some more striking from him, possibly. Redgrave, powerbomb position. He's going to get Church in the package. Redgrave, London Bridge. But ironically, no bridge for Redgrave as he's going for some more London Lariat. Good night, Raymond Church. Redgrave put Dr. Plague away with that hellacious Lariat. And as we've seen him do so many times, Leon Redgrave, he can soak up a lot of punishment. He might be the toughest man in this competition. And Redgrave starts the night off with a win to advance him to 5-2. I think this is the guy you're going to be seeing in the knockout stage. As for Raymond Church, it might be a little bit more touch and go for him. Oh, Kurt, let me holler at you for a second, homie. Look, here's the deal. I know that you're in that #1 contenders match next Monday, but I want you to know one thing. I ain't done with Derek Cole. So just watch yourself. I'm not going to get involved in that match. You can do whatever you want to do, but just watch your back. All right, when you get in against Derek Cole, know that TJ Frost is going to be there as well. Cole thinks he can get away from me. It's not going to happen. I don't want anything to do with you, my man. Just watch your back. This main event, Takahashi versus Adonis Carter, this is exactly what Rookie of the Year was supposed to be. At the very beginning of this thing, nobody would be watching this because who are these guys? Nobody knows. But now, after 7-8 weeks of competition, after we've seen Takahashi, we've seen Adonis Carter, they've both been on the biggest stages. Carter has fought the Apex champion. Takahashi fought on the admission fee at Bash at the Beach. So now we've seen what both of these guys can do. Now suddenly this is one of the most anticipated main events across all of GAW, not just in Rookie of the Year. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. And as for the actual match itself, obviously I'm biased. I've been working with Takahashi for a couple months now, so I know what he can bring. But obviously we've all seen Adonis Carter, so no disrespect to him at all. But the question for him is going to be, can he deal with the power of the striking that Takahashi is going to bring? I don't think people really respect, or at least know, how hard Takahashi can hit you. We talk about the striking prowess, but do you know how much power he packs into those punches, into those kicks, into those knees? Well, Adonis Carter is going to find out in the main event. I know Satin Cedric will be there. I know all eyes are going to be on that match. And I'm just so happy that Rookie of the Year gets to be a part of it. Quite time for the moving day analogy just yet. We've still got a little bit more, a few more matches to go. But for Marlon Wright, desperation time is probably here A 1-5 record, and today he's got to go up against Ryan Skinner. Most of our matches here today are within teams, so we're not going to see a lot of movement in terms of the overall records, comparing Hernandez and Andrews, but we are going to see a lot of movement in the overall standings of all the rookies. And Marlon Wright, he is running out of time if he's not able to get it done here. Takahashi has been better than Ryan Skinner. The #1 pick started 0-3, 3 straight losses, 4 if you count his loss to Takahashi in week 1. That was to begin the Rookie of the Year competition for Skinner. It seemed like nothing was working for him. Team captain Kurt Andrews was getting on his back seemingly every day, but some switch flipped in the head of Skinner, and he has become the most dangerous man, not named Takahashi, in this competition. He has ran through the last 3 men he's faced, including last week an absolutely dominant performance over Chris Alexa. But before that, he went for a huge win over Wolf Stormsong, who himself has been unbeatable, other than, of course, by Takahashi. And to start things off, to start this run here for Skinner, he beat Dorian Bush, who has made a living off of upsetting wrestlers in Rookie of the Year. So we're not talking about a guy who has built his record against the men lower in the standings. He has gone up against some real competition, and he's beaten them over the last 3 weeks. That should really concern Marlon Wright, who needs a win desperately. Ryan Skinner has looked unbeatable. So obviously both these men need a win. Maybe Wright a little bit more than Skinner, at least given where he is. But as far as Skinner is concerned, a 3-4 record, that would put him in a bad place. Certainly not somewhere he'd want to be, because he would be fighting an uphill battle to get into the automatic qualification zone. But Marlon Wright, it might be even more uphill for him if he were to lose here. 1-6, that wouldn't bode well. Skinner with a splash from the top. Early cover here, 45 seconds in. Skinner took to the skies. Wright kicks out. We'll see what happens to both Dash Foley and Chris Alexa later on. Both of them sitting at 2 and 4. So they are also in dangerous territory. What has helped Ryan Skinner? Oh my God! Well, that'll help anyone. What's helped Skinner is that he has really settled in to his all-rounder persona. It seemed like for those first 3 weeks when he was losing, he couldn't figure out who he wanted to be. He was trying to outstrike Leon Redgrave. He was trying to outstrike Takahashi. He was trying to outpace Adonis Carter, which, by the way, those 3 losses, that's 3 of the top 4 men in the standings right now. That's who Skinner had to go through. He has fought the toughest schedule of any man in Rookie of the Year so far. But what he has figured out is that he is an all-rounder, and that's what he needs to focus on. He needs to be unpredictable, and that's what he's been over the last 3 weeks. Is how he beat Wolf Stormsong. Ryan Skinner is a man who has absolutely been forged in combat. You look in the top 5, Takahashi, Adonis Carter, Wolf Stormsong, Leon Redgrave. That's the top 4 right there. Skinner's fought them all. You add in a win over Dorian Bush, who, as I said, has just made a living off of upsetting the top guys in this competition. And Skinner always turned this into a cover. Skinner, it looked like he was going for a submission. Skinner absolutely stole it, and that's what I meant. That's what I was talking about when I was saying Ryan Skinner needs to be predictable. I thought he was going for the exact same sort of submission hold with that double butterfly, but Skinner turns it into a cover, and Marlon Wright was so unprepared for it, he couldn't kick out. I was unprepared for it. But Ryan Skinner, that's exactly what he needed to do. Skinner, it's a huge win. He's gotten himself into plus territory, over 500 for the #1 overall pick. It seemed unthinkable after he started 0-3, but it just continues to get better and better for Ryan Skinner. But ahead of his match, let's hear what Dorian Bush has to say about the main event. 2 men that he has faced, one of whom he's beaten. I work every day with Takahashi. I see him training, and I fought Adonis Carter. I went toe-to-toe with the man they said was the best prospect on the planet. I did beat him. Takahashi is going to have a tougher time than I did, and that's not to big up myself. I think I just got lucky. But the one thing that Adonis Carter seems to struggle with is men about his size that can move in a similar way. He seems to not be able to really get a foothold in a match like that. Like he almost doesn't know what to do when his primary game plan doesn't work. And granted, his primary game plan is about as good as anybody on earth right now. But he'll struggle against Takahashi, because Takahashi's A game is his B game, is his C game, is his Z game. He is going to strike with you. He's going to box with you. And there's very few people in the world who can compete with a Takahashi who's doing that. So Adonis Carter will struggle to keep up with the striking of Takahashi. However, it does mean that Adonis can use his A game as well, which means that this main event is probably going to be the best match we've seen of this competition so far, because it's going to be 2 men who are built to fight each other, 2 men who are desperate for a win, 2 men who are desperate to show out, and I think we're all just excited to see it.
I'm a shadow of the man I was before. I'm a dead man walking before I die. I'll take every soul I can into the night and kill till I die.
This is going to be one of the most intriguing matches of the night. Obviously main event excluded, but it's 2 men that are coming off of big-time wins last time out, big-time upsets. Dash Foley defeated Adonis Carter. That was very surprising to see. Not that Dash Foley doesn't have the ability to defeat Adonis Carter, but more that Carter was competing on just such an incredible level. And Foley, he's been a little bit disappointing so far, but if he can do what he did against Adonis, different story.
Away from me. I know you think I still can take advantage, but it hasn't worked out like you fucking planned it. 'Cause of all my work, you can't take that away.
There are very few men who had more intrigue around him than Franky Omega Jr. coming into his match last week. Dorian Bush, as he has done before, faced him down, said, I don't care about any intrigue. Beat him with the all-day Dorian. He hit him twice. Just a tremendous showing from Bush, who proved that he should never be overlooked, no matter who you are. Well, this is a very intriguing match between two men who I think very desperately need a win, and I'm gonna try not to overuse that, because obviously everybody could use a win, everyone other than Takahashi, who seems pretty safe up at the top right now. But I think in these guys' case, it's pretty true. Dash Foley will desperately want to widen the gap between him and the basement that currently contains Marlon, Wright, and Dr. Plague. And Dorian will want to, like Ryan Skinner did, get up into the positive territory, get in over 500. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want to be in the three-way dance. You do not want to be numbers 8, 9, and 10, because when guys get desperate, when your tournament that you've competed in for months hinges on one match against two other men, that is not a position you want to find yourself in. Guys get desperate. You don't want to be on the other end. Foley looking good so far, but up to the top he goes. Dorian waiting for him. Foley, though, drops the double axe. Foley was too quick. Bush able to answer back. Big knife edge chop. You can see the size discrepancy between these men. I think that's one thing that Foley has really been able to improve on. He does have a height advantage, but he wasn't using his reach. We saw him do it last week against Carter. One of the things that Dorian alluded to when we heard him talking earlier was that he is similar size to Carter. He was able to play a similar game. He can't quite do the same here to Foley, but maybe he can do something totally unexpected. Bush, double arm trapped on the curb stomp. Bush backed him up, left hand strike. Oh! Caught him with the heel, and even though Foley looked so good early on, now it's Dorian Bush taking him for a little bit of a ride. Launches him across the ring. And coming on the heels of an upset win over Franky Omega Jr., Bush, he could find himself in a bad situation though. Vertical suplex. Well, now things have evened up. Foley looked dominant to start. Bush has answered. And now you can hear the fans in Atlanta light up, because they know what this match means to both of these men. Foley off of the suplex, the strikes. Foley with the cover, Bush kicks out. Oh, with the kick, he missed! Dash Foley missed the kick. He hit the referee, and Foley doesn't even know what to do about it. He's caught by Bush. Dash Foley didn't even know what to do when he caught the referee with that kick. And now Dorian Bush, he saw this against Franky Omega Jr. It's the Fujiwara armbar. It's right in the middle of the ring. Foley, as he recovered, he has. Beautiful transition into the north-south. He got the knee and got back to his feet. But it looked dicey there as Dash Foley let a kick get away from him. Multiple boots now to the chest and back, and now Foley using his size and his strength. The gut wrench, more kicks. Now Foley up to the middle rope. Foley drops the knee. Right on the throat, Dash Foley came down. And this is a man who weighed in for this match at 271 pounds. That is a big man to fall on your neck. Foley, no! Oh, that's a big man to be doing standing backflips as well. And now it's Foley off the ropes. Oh, Pele kick. That's using the reach. That's exactly what he did last week against Adonis Carter. He used the reach. And now he's doing it again. Dirty boxing in the corner. Foley, he's taking control. control and just waxes Dorian Bush, busting him open right above the eye with that knee. Dash Foley took full advantage of his size. Dorian, they're gonna have to get him straight into the trainer's room. You can see the blood immediately as Dash Foley just blasted his eye with the left knee. That's a gusher, folks. Not to be too graphic. Dorian has already been taken to the trainer's room. It's been an up and down competition for Dorian Bush, but at the end of the day, Dash Foley is climbing his way out. 3-4 for Foley after 2 straight big wins for a man who had struggled for them early in this competition. All right, Eddie, let's address the elephant in the room right now. The main event, Adonis Carter is going to hand Takahashi his first loss of the competition. How are we feeling about that? I mean, look, I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but I understand that a lot of people want me to say that Takahashi is never going to lose. I know that's what we say in this sport. But what's really important to remember is that losses sometimes are more valuable than wins. That sounds like some bullshit you would say. That's coming from a man who's never won the top title in Evolution. He's never won the top title anywhere he's been. So it makes sense that you would say that, oh, losses can help you win more. But Eddie, I'm going to tell you this from a winner's perspective. You never want to lose. Losses never help. Only wins. If you had let me finish, just look at Conor McGregor, one of the most influential men in combat sports. What really started his run when he became the champ, I hate to use his phraseology, but it's just a fact. What started it? It was the loss to Nate Diaz. That's what kicked him into a higher gear. So yes, sometimes losses can help you more than wins. And so that's why I'm going to tell Takahashi, I've told him already, if he loses tonight, it's okay. Adonis Carter is as good of a prospect as you will ever see. So you want to taste a loss now, because when we get into the knockout stages, when you cannot afford to lose, a loser go home scenario, you need to have that desperation, that fire in your chest to know that you cannot lose that match. You know what that sinking feeling feels like, and you never want to feel it again. Sometimes fear motivates more than anything else, and you need to have that fear of losing. Well, I suppose if you're a man who loses, you would have a fear of losing. But fortunately for me, I am not accustomed to losing anything, Eddie. So I will say to Adonis Carter, as I've already said, forget the fear of losing. What you need to motivate you is the desire to embarrass another man. And for Takahashi, he has gone too long without fighting the best, fighting the likes of Adonis Carter, fighting the likes of Leon Redgrave. He's gone too long without facing them, and that ends tonight when Adonis Carter puts him right back in his place and proves once and for all that he is the top prospect, that he is headed to Evolution, and God help anyone who would come across Adonis Carter and Satin Cedric. Are you done? Because Kurt, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just going to remind you, you lost to me at Nitro. No, I don't believe I did. I believe that we lost to the tag team. I don't think I've sustained a singles loss since the goddamn Clinton administration. I'm not even going to justify that with a response. By the way, aren't you British? Why did you just bring up an American politician? Eddie, I am going to put a boot so far up your ass, it's not even funny.
Took your heart, did things to your own, and lovers would do in the dark. Made you a god.
Eddie Hernandez and Kurt Andrews, as entertaining as always. I could watch just a whole hour of those two going back and forth. I know a lot of people could too. That's been a point of discussion over in the GAW Discord, which you should join, by the way. Link is down in the description or on the website, generaladmissionwrestling.com. Lots of exclusives for them. They, by the way, will be the first to hear of a special, extremely special event coming after Rookie of the Year has concluded. I'm getting well ahead of myself here, but I'm just telling you, you want to join. That's the sort of thing you want to hear about first. first. Chris Alexa, he's going to want to come in first in this match. Watching Dash Foley get the win earlier and advance to 3 and 4, that leaves Alexa right now at 2 and 4. He could end up as the only man with a 2 and 5 record. We'll see what happens in the Dr. Plague match. We'll show you highlights of that coming up next. But if Alexa finds himself in sole possession of 10th place, that is not a situation that he wants to be in. I told you earlier, you do not want to fight rookies who are desperate for their tournaments, and that is where Chris Alexa might find himself.
Welcome to unrealization. We can prepare to kill the operation. It ain't fair, but I feel like we're the nation. So raise the flag and do the preparation. Welcome to reality. There's no way back. Welcome to reality.
Franky Omega Jr. made such a huge impact on the scene, but he's fallen off a little bit, I think because, and I'm just speculating, but I think because he hasn't gone for more of the, how would you say, underhanded tactics in his last couple matches, which has led to losses on his behalf, including the upset last week at the hands of Dorian Bush. So which version of Franky Omega are we going to get today? Something tells me that maybe we might see some more underhanded tactics from him. I don't know for sure. Alexa, oh, maybe that wasn't the way to go, Chris. Omega with a shot, and now Omega, yep, here we go. Some dirty tactics as Franky Omega, a tarantula wrapped up in the ropes. Omega's wrenching it. Obviously, he's got a break before 5. Oh, and the cheap shot. Well, it's already starting for Franky Omega Jr. The underhanded tactics. Now he's taking it to the outside. 2. Yeah. This is kind of what I'm expecting, what I was expecting to see, knowing that he's coming off of an upset loss. Omega just planting Alexa back first. Alexa able to open up some space. Trying to get this thing under control. Nice lariat. 5. If I'm Chris Alexa, I'm trying to take this thing back into the ring. You do not want Franky to do something like that. Look at this. Dirty tactics, the arrogance, the taunting. This is Franky Omega Jr. to a T. Back into the ring he goes. Blows the kiss. My God, this is disrespectful from Franky Omega Jr. Watches Alexa come back in. Omega tried to go for the cheap shot. Alexa seemed to defend it for the moment, but Omega just plants him. Omega with a springboard splash. Alexa was on top of that. Alexa, first cover of the match for him. It's barely a 1 count. Omega kicks out, and now Omega caught the strike from Alexa, takes him down. Arm collector is in from Franky Omega. He was on top of that all the way. Omega wrenching the arm back. Alexa nowhere to go for him. He just has to hope. Omega wrenched the arm one more time. And now Franky Omega going in for the pin. We've seen this from Chris Alexa himself. Just gross. Just gross from Franky Omega. That's all that is. Underhanded tactics, cheap shots, using Alexa's own trick against him. What more can you expect? But Franky back into the win column. And that's 2 men who came into this thing with a 3-3 record, who now have advanced to 4-3. Let's show you the highlights of the one match we didn't see. Wolf Stormsong takes on Dr. Plague. The Doctor desperate for a win, more so than almost anyone else, but Stormsong will not give it to him. I think Wolf knew coming in that Plague was going to be too big to get up for that go to hell, so instead, Stormsong goes into his bag, able to counter the size of Dr. Plague, and it's a springboard double foot stomp. We've never seen it before. He calls it the Wolf Song, and it certainly is effective. Stormsong gets the win over Dr. Plague, and that gives a little bit more of a gap in the bottom two places. Stormsong gets the win. It's our main event coming up next. The highly anticipated Takahashi versus Adonis Carter match. But first, let's hear from Carter's mentor, Satin Cedric. You know, because Eddie Hernandez is the opposing team captain, I'm supposed to come out here and disagree with everything that comes out of his mouth. But I'm not going to do it, and I'll tell you why. Because every so often there is wisdom in even your enemies. Eddie Hernandez has been around a long time. He's been around in GAW longer than almost anybody. And I know that my own flesh and blood can listen to somebody like that, as can I. So when Hernandez tells Takahashi that a loss is okay, well, I agree with him. Adonis has had it twice, and he has never been better. So Takahashi, I'm just going to warn you right now, you are dealing with an Adonis Carter that you have never seen before. A level of a man that you cannot even comprehend. He is on a different planet. He's on a different stratosphere. He's in a different universe right now. Adonis Carter is competing at a level that nobody has ever seen before. His mama told me when he was 3 years old that he was going to be a world champion. She didn't know of what. She didn't know if it was going to be basketball, football, wrestling, boxing, dancing. It don't matter. Adonis Carter is championship material. So Takahashi, as good as you are, and you are absolutely great, I'm going to tell you this. You better prepare to have a loss, because Adonis has eaten his already. And when it's time, when the lights are on, when everybody is watching, when the cameras are rolling, that's when Adonis Carter is at his absolute best. Can you compete with a man who is better in prime time than he is anywhere else? Takahashi, I don't think you can, because you're the kind of man that thrives in darkness. You're the man that thrives in the training room, and I respect that. But when the stage is biggest, when you got the most people watching, that is when Adonis comes to play. And Takahashi, I just don't think you're ready for it.
Pocket full of them bad, cause I be killing it. Play around with them bad, cause I be killing it. I don't think I stand, cause I be killing it. Yeah, I take your girl, cause I be killing it. Pocket full of them bad, cause I be killing it. I be killing it. Play around with them bad, cause I be killing it. Yeah, I don't think I stand, cause I be killing it.
Flash for Adonis Carter. The white and blue. I love that. His uncle Satin Cedric as confident as ever. And why shouldn't he be? The upset loss last week aside, Adonis has been one of the fastest growing and most polished prospects that we've seen, and I don't mean just in Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, he's got to go up against another man who holds that distinction as well. Some new threads as well, and it includes maybe the most terrifying mask I've ever seen. He had a version of this at the admission fee as well. If this doesn't strike fear into the hearts of even the most confident wrestlers, I don't know what will. So if you're Adonis Carter, are you thinking, even as confident as he should be, that maybe tonight is not the night when you're facing this man? The only undefeated man left in this competition, at least 6 points ahead of everyone else. at least coming into this week, Takahashi has truly been infallible. But if there's anyone that might be able to figure out the riddle that is the Muay Thai trained striking monster, it would be Adonis Carter. It's a battle of the top two, and it starts right now. What a main event we have ourselves. Carter versus Takahashi. Satin, Cedric in Carter's corner as usual. And Carter starts things off with a beautiful combination and a show of athleticism. We heard Dorian Bush talk earlier about how Carter would settle in this match because he's facing someone who's bigger, who he can really leverage his athleticism against. However, we did see him last week against Foley, who also possessed the size and strength advantage. We saw Carter struggle with him as well. What really worked for Foley was a quick combination of some big moves. That is a very high risk, high reward proposition, but it worked for him in that time. I wonder if Takahashi will try the same. And obviously, for Takahashi, that spinning heel kick, well, that spells death for anybody. So Carter has to be concerned. Carter bleeding already, I believe, from that elbow shot from Takahashi. So Carter wanting to get back into the ring where he's more comfortable. Takahashi will follow. Carter able to get him into that cradle carry. Takahashi's big elbow now from Carter. We're going to see it here. He's going to charge it up. Carter standing 450. He did. He charged it up. Matches tend to go well when he's able to charge up to 450. Now let's see. Seated moonsault. Takahashi saw it coming. And more striking. We heard Dorian say that Takahashi, he will never deviate from the game plan, and he is not. Carter to his feet. Now Carter caught Takahashi with his guard down. Really stunned him with that shot. Now into the corner. Takahashi able to reverse it. Carter, effortless athleticism. Backflips up off the ropes. Oh, what a lariat. Carter absolutely mashed him coming in. Hooks the leg. Takahashi kicks out at two. Carter really caught him with that. Now Takahashi, a rare fan on the strike. He was hitting air, and now Adonis Carter gonna go to work. Beautiful heel kick from Carter. Carter has been in this situation before, main events against great wrestlers. He's done it before. Carter, Chicago masterclass. Adonis Carter hooks the leg. Carter, he has just handed Takahashi his first loss. What a match! Adonis Carter likes to work quick. We know that. But my goodness, what a performance from Adonis. And Takahashi has been handed his first loss of the tournament. Satin Cedric has to be just over the moon, and so does Kurt Andrews. Takahashi still in first as we leave you with the standings, but Adonis Carter has proved that last week was truly just a fluke. He is one of the best in this competition, so everyone better watch out. And we've got a battle up at the top now, folks. Takahashi back within reach of Adonis Carter, Wolf Stormsong, and Leon Redgrave. All of them keeping pace. Down at the bottom, it's Marlon, Wright, Dr. Plague trying to claw at Chris Alexa, who sits alone in 10th. Ryan Skinner making a charge as well with a 4-3 record. Folks, it is going to get interesting. 3 matches remain for each man in this competition, and it is just going to get better. We will see you on Friday for After Party. Adam Cole versus Keith Lee for the World Championship. And we'll see you next Wednesday for more Rookie of the Year. We appreciate you.
Never since it started. Need a strap jacket, my flow too retarded. I be going dumb even though I'm the smartest.
something bad, like